So the easiest way of making music, first go to sound mode because it just is set up for sound, and if we add a timeline, it'll have these notches, these marks for the beats, and if you click on that with X, then it goes into real time, seconds and stuff, but you want beats. So the easiest way of making music is to either just grab a music track and stick it in your level, and then you don't. That's the whole thing. That's the end of that tutorial. And when time is playing, it just plays that music wherever you got it from. So that's cool. But if you want to have a bit more input into it, you can go to music clips and find some stuff. So maybe you want to grab one of these. That sounds cool. And you can preview the timeline by just hovering over it, and then you get these controls. You can press play and rewind it. That's pretty cool. So then you just find a different clip. And now you got a bit more, and find some other clips. And you got a whole track. So it's very easy, but what if you wanted to add some of your own stuff to it? So I think I'll keep just the drums, and if you find one of these that you kind of like, try that, and you can just go use L1 and X to open one of these special windows for those instruments and stuff, and you can use the face buttons to play in here, and you can see when we play time, it has this like 3D representation of the notes, and as they hit the face of this, they are playing. And these blobs are effect fields, so normally you have this kind of outline of the imp because you're in performance mode. If you press L1 and circle, you just stop being in performance mode, so then you can use it as normal. And you see these special gadgets in the actual window. These are effect fields, and they affect how the audio sounds. So like that. So so to record, you just press record. Let's delete that first. So if we just play time, so that recorded. Another way of recording is to click both sticks in. So if I retry that, and I just click both sticks in, then that's been recorded. And you can view these notes that you've recorded in piano roll view. You can adjust like the ends of the clip like that with X. Kind of make it easier to see. Also, a tip is to use L1 and right or L1 and left to expand and contract just widthwise. So if you have a really long song, you might want to contract it down so you can see it all like in one screen. And you can preview it in here just as normal. And you can just move this around like that. And maybe you want it to be on loop. And if it's on loop, then you can drag out the end like that, and it will add more iterations. So let's see what that is like. Like that. Now maybe you want to tweak that, in which case we can use these trim handles, trim start and trim end, and the timeline will behave exactly as if that was the only part of the timeline. It was just that length from there to there. So then if you play time, it'll play to the end and stop. And if we tweak the actual timeline itself, or the timeline gadget, it's the same thing, and click on loop, then if you play, it will just loop through that part. So it's very useful for like tweaking how a thing sounds. So what I'll do is I'll just copy that and turn that one off for the minute. Make like a variation. So that's on A#3. I'll just swap those around. Aha. So now we have two versions. I'll turn that on again. And if you expand that out, so we have these little variances. Another useful thing for like making those variations for use later is to tweak the timeline. Go to the second tab, beat and sidebar. Turn on show sidebar. The sidebar. So at the moment we can hear both of them, but if we can like turn different parts off, and now we only hear that one because only that one is powered. Or we can turn those ones off and just hear the beat. Or you can press the solo, and only the ones, if any of these have solo activated, only those rows will play. So only that one has solo, so only that one is playing. You can turn on that for the beat as well, if you want to. So when we're working on this variation, we can turn that one off quite easily. Cool. Now, if we wanted to, okay, let's turn that off and grab a different instrument. So you can search for clips and stuff, but you can also search for empty instruments. So these won't have any notes in them, but they will be ready to play basically. So let's put that on there. That wasn't great, but it'll do. So now we have that, and we can in this one it's like a sample based one, so pressing X always sounds like that. It doesn't change it to a different frequency or note or whatever. So this is in the piano roll just as normal, and you can move notes around with R2, copy them with L1 and R2, and you can scale notes with down and up. So let's try that. and we can select notes like that, and then like copy them around. We do that. You can hold L1 and drag across the top with X, and that will select the columns, and across the side, and that would select rows like that. So that should kind of hopefully get people started with the basics of making music. Cool.